Look at our lighting. Good lighting.
Yeah, it's daylight. We're filming in daylight.
Oh,
for once.
For once.
The first time in probably a year at least.
Long time.
Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan,
the Spine Breakers. And today we thought we would just reflect on our reading goals that we had set for 2018. See how we did on those. And also talk about what our goals are for 2019.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of get real introspective, y'all.
And we couldn't, I tried to find a beer we hadn't tried that sounded good, but I couldn't, so I just got an old favorite, which the label has changed.
It has. I noticed that. I was like, oh. Yeah. And it feels bougie. Like, feel it.
Feels real bougie.
Yeah.
But this is 1554 by New Belgium. It's delicious. And it's just a really good dark ale. It says enlightened dark ale brewed with spice.
Yes.
So there we go.
It's tasty.
Yep. That's good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, our reading goals for last year, how did you do?
I mean, I did okay. But not great. How about you? Same?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of the things I set out to do. But I didn't do as well as I had hoped.
Yeah, same here. I think the only goals that I had set were to do the Read Harder Challenge, which I did complete, and to read the oldest books on my shelf, which I started out strong, and I read, I don't know, maybe, to be honest, I think I maybe read like 2. So I did not do great on that goal. So that was a bummer, but I still read more this year. Oh, that was the other goal I set. I did set a Goodreads goal to read 60 books, and I've surpassed that. So, and I've read more books this year than any other year
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all in all, pretty good, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Overall, really good.
Yeah.
I am 1 book away from finishing the Read Harder Challenge. I have to read a classic of genre fiction, which I can do by the end of the year, no problem, if I get my head out of my ass. And then I think I had set my Goodreads goal to 60, which I've met. I don't know that I had many other goals. Like, I wanted to continue to read diversely, which I feel like I have done.
Yeah.
So I think I've done all right. I mean, I'd wanted to read more, I guess, but I had a couple of, like, really sloggy months where I didn't read much of anything.
Yeah, it's weirdly, for having read more books than ever before, I think I got way more slumpy, like, starting in, like, September.
Yeah.
And has just lasted through the end of the year, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm still kind of there, but, like, I'm trying to get my shit together. Like, I finished a book this month, so that's great.
Yeah, I finished 2 books this month. One of them was one I had started, like, a month ago, though, and just, like, couldn't get into. So I only had, like, half of it to read, but... Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of back in the swing of reading a little bit. I've started another book. I'm about 60 pages into it. So I think maybe the slump is broken. Hopefully.
Getting back into it.
Hopefully.
I'm still a little bit, like, on the fence there, but, like, I've been spending my time, like, I've been doing a lot of, like, reorganizing and, like, shit around my house, and so that's kind of
I need to be doing that instead of reading.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty much done with there's a couple more things I want to do, but I'm done with, like, the big things. So.
Yeah. I think part of the reason, like, one thing I think that helped me read more books this year is that I did listen to more audiobooks than I ever have before, but I still didn't listen to that many, like, maybe 1 a month, if that, probably less than that. So I'd say in all, I probably listened to, like, maybe 10 audiobooks this year.
Okay.
But still, I mean, that helped me pass my Goodreads goal. And I'm hoping I can get to 70 by the end of the year. I'm at 66 right now, I think.
Okay.
And I am in the middle of 2 books, and I'm physically reading, and I'm listening to an audiobook. And the audiobook is not very good, but I think I'm going to try to finish it. Because it is just kind of, I mean, I wanted it to be, like, just a fun, it's a romance And so I just wanted something like light and fluffy, and it is, but the narration is not good, and I don't really like the main character very much, so, but anyway.
So are there sexy scenes in this?
Not yet, I'm not very far in it. I think there will be, though, I think.
Do you think that'll be, like, more or less weird than, like, reading it yourself?
Well, I listened to that one last year, that Seasons of Love, the lesbian romance. And, I mean, it was fine listening to the sex scenes. But that narrator was much better than this one, so it might be way more awkward in this one than it was in that one.
That's understandable. I feel like I would get awkward if I was, for some reason, like, if I'm reading it, it's whatever, but, like, if I'm listening to it, I feel like I would get, like...
Really?
About it, yeah. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's not logical.
Oh, and I don't know if I talked about this goal or not, but kind of in my head I had a goal of, like, reducing my amount of unread owned books. And that didn't really happen. I will say it didn't increase at all, though. So my rate of reading and buying was, like, the same.
Okay.
Which is better than previous years when I was buying way more than I was reading. I still would like to whittle that down more, so I think that's something I need to work on this year. Or in 2019.
In 2019.
So, should we talk about our 2019 goals then?
Let's do it. That's a good segue.
All right.
I think I'm going to up my Goodreads goal to 65 for next year. I don't want to up it all the way to 70 because I mean, if I get another deadlock like I did at the end of this year, then I don't want to set myself up not to succeed. So
yeah, I might do about the same. I'm usually not too concerned with my Goodreads goal. So I don't want to set it at something unattainable because I don't want it to be quantity over quality. And I would like to read, that's something I would like to do in 2019, is to read some more of the big books on my shelves. So that will probably bring down the amount of books that I read, which is fine.
Right.
So I might just keep my Goodreads goal at 60. I don't know. I might up it to 65. We'll see. Because since I have been listening to audiobooks a little bit more, that does help a lot. And I could always, there are some graphic novels I wanted to read as well. So
I read quite a few of those this year, 2018.
Yeah, I didn't read that many, I don't think. I think maybe 2. And Kindred, the graphic novel, but that was kind of a long one.
Yeah, that was long for a graphic novel. I think some other goals I have are, I would like to also read some more books that I own, just because I have a lot of books I own and haven't read yet. But I did make myself like a spreadsheet. It's an Excel spreadsheet of like all the books I own physically and then the like Kindle books that I own. And I kind of, like, I mark them off as I read them, so I can keep track.
I actually have a spreadsheet as well of all my owned. I have all my owned unread and read books.
You have way more books than I do.
Yeah. Lots of books. I have way too many books. It's kind of ridiculous. But we're both also doing the 2019 Read Harder Challenge, which we'll link that list below if you're interested in checking it out. They've already put out next year's challenges. And I think they're pretty good ones.
I think so. Some of them seem a little obscure, but not so obscure that you can't find a book to fit it.
Right. It kind of sucks because, like we just mentioned, we do want to read more of our own books. And for me, there's quite a few challenges that I don't think I own a book to fit, which, I mean, that's kind of the point of the Read Harder Challenge, is to read things you wouldn't normally.
Well, I think that kind of...
have to hit the library a lot.
Yeah, well, and I kind of want to use the library more in 2019 anyway, because, like, I believe in the library. I think it's a really cool thing to have, and, like, I want to show support to the library, and honestly, when I do check out books, like, I could probably fund someone's salary just from late fees.
So, I have a late fee right now that I need to pay. It's only like 20 or 30 cents. So.
Yeah, they're not bad. So, but yeah, I do want to utilize the library more. So that, I guess, can be another one of my goals for 2019.
Yeah. I would still like to carry over my goal of reading some of the oldest books on my shelves. So there's that. And then I'm kind of debating on whether to bring back the TBR jar. Because I think the TBR jar is fun.
It is fun.
But I've thought about doing it instead of just picking one and reading that one, doing kind of like how Olive from A Book Olive does her TBR jar picks, which is where she picks 3 and then decides between those 3 which ones she wants to read. So I might do that instead so that I make sure I'm reading something that I actually want to be reading right then, you know? Because sometimes with my TBR jar picks, when I was doing it in 2017, I feel like I would force myself to read a book that I wasn't really into, and it would slow down my reading a lot.
Definitely. I had the same experience with that. But no, I like the drawing 3 and picking one thing.
Yeah, so I might do that. I don't know if I'll like do a video every month doing that, because I feel like that could be like a separate video in itself, you know?
Right.
Or we could, if you wanted to do that, we could do it together.
I would do that.
So maybe we could do a TBR jar pick video every month together.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much all my goals I have.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I don't want to set too many because, like, I don't want to overwhelm myself, you know, but I do like to have some goals, and especially for my reading, but...
Yeah, I think that having some goals really helps keep me motivated to read. But if I have too many or too difficult of goals, then it starts to feel like it's homework, you know, and it's not really enjoyable.
No, it's just
anymore.
tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we're at. What are your goals for 2019? How did you guys do with your 2018 goals? Leave us some comments.
Yeah, I feel like we did okay.
That's all she wrote.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.